Welcome back to Pioneer Ranked with Niv to Light. We had some spicy brews this week, so we're happy to show them. This opening hand is pretty slow, but our opponent appears to be Grixis, so I'm instantly thought to myself, okay, Grixis control. Thoughtseize reinforces this issue. I think the best bet here is potentially Supreme, particularly depending on what your removal package is. If your entire Grixis deck is just, yeah, there they take Supreme. Okay, let's shock in and get a biotech down. Grixis control decks lean heavily more into removal, but a young Pyromancer instantly makes me go, oh, Grixis Pyromancer. Well, immediately we've got to take that out before they get any insane value from it. They go for an opt. So this appears to be something similar to the old Mardu Pyromancer from Modern's past. There's a third path Iconoclast. Yeah, this deck is sweet. I like this. Let's throw the Ancient Cornucopia down, because life gain against a aggro-based, not a traditional aggro-based deck, but something that is trying to take our life total will be quite relevant. Alright. There's Divide by Zero. I'm going to pop the Lander token in response, because bouncing this is not as bad as killing it, and I want to save this normal life for something more relevant. This deck, though, is activating everything for me here. So, here's the Bring to Light test. We've got 5 potential options. I think our best bet here, looking at everything, is just go for the reload. The other option would have been the board wipe. However, we find the board wipe in the Niv, which works perfectly. Alright, I'm going to get rid of one Vanishing Verse here, because their third path is 2 color and their colors are tokenless. Their tokens are colorless. A learn package with token creating creatures. I love this deck. This is everything I love in this. So I'm going to block the one-of token, because if we can gather the required, I'm going to bounce Niv in response to save that, then use the Supreme Verdict to clear the board. That turns off their Necromantic Fumes, because that's sack a creature to exile a creature. Could have done that in response, but I wanted to clear the board, because at that point they were getting to a critical mass of tokens. And they do run red, so there could be some kind of overrun, kind of like pump everything effect. Sedgemoor Witch, the more I see this deck, the more I kind of love it. Alright, so Toph can be our end game here. I think our best bet here, we have a full body of cards, so let's go Toph. We will get back the Bring to Light, because that's a good option. Take away the Joshua. Hold up the mana here, because Toph blocks everything here. They go for Thoughtseize. We've got great options here. I don't want to cast off the Helix yet, because I want them to be forced to take the Bring to Light or Niv for value. They go for the Necromantic Fumes. In response, I will No More Lies to counter it. They did see that was in our hand, so they're clearly buying time. We'll block here, give them a life from the Pest. I'm so sad that the Learn mechanic isn't returning in Strixhaven. We just got the spoilers. Alright, let's make them discard a card, and we can take out the Sedgemoor Witch. It will cost us 3 life, but we will gain 2 life from the Cornucopia. We're getting an army of lands. Man, I've missed playing this Toph. This list is so much better with Toph in it. Right, 4 mana available. Let's biotech, and let's Earthbend another land. I'm going to hold up the mana here, because if I want to hold up 2 mana as a removal spell in case this happens. There's Necrotic Fumes. I'll take out the Pyromancer. Before Toph dies, I will Earthbend onto a land. That puts them down to 9. Yeah, they concede. They're out of options. Their deck is really sweet, though. I really want to play it. Alright, pushes for their token creators. Pest control for their tokens. Is it Charm to slow it down? Mordigo doesn't really have a target. Valky's a bit option. Cosmic Rebirth and Joshua out. Kavera out because they're a bit slower. One of the No More Lies out. We lean more into the hard counter. It looks like a lot of their cards are based around control. Ooh, a board wipe and 2 removal spells. Pretty good here. I'm expecting a Fortseas double removal, double board wipe. Hunt for specimens. Finds. I might try to recreate this deck in budget Magic. It's really cool. Alright, 3 mana, got 1 pest. We got pest control, which is ironically named in this matchup with Sedgemoor Witch and learn effects that make pests. Well, we'll just hold mana. I'm guessing they've got counter magic, so I'm going to try and bait it. Let's use the Helix here. We'll cycle the pest control. We have 2 board wipes. We don't need to worry about a third. There's the Sedgemoor Witch. Let's Tyrant Scorn that. We'll have to pay 3 life. Oh, they just have an opt. Maybe they're not running counter magic. Maybe they're just running like cantrips and removal and duress effects. That'd be a pretty cool option. I'm grabbing Yorion here to give the option that I didn't have an option, but the Fortseas here completely cuts through my deception. There goes the Bring to Light. Let's just get Yorion down then. It is a clock. It also probably baits. Yep, there's Divide by 0. They find a Necrotic Flume. Professor Onyx, very good. Yeah, that's 100% eating a Molten Collapse here. Alright, they took something over a Pyromancer, so let's kill the Professor Onyx. Play the land. Oh, we didn't have the mana for Yorion. Alright, there's the young Pyromancer. There's a Fortseas. Taking the Pulse? Interesting. Supreme Verdict, clear the board. We'll hold the land now because we've got enough lands to worry about it. We'll go for a cycle effect. Finding more land. Well, there's an Ancient Cornucopia, I guess. Play land tapped. Let's just play Yorion to gain 2 life and blink the Cornucopia. It will probably die to the down tick from Onyx. Yep, there we go. Sack a creature. Sedgemoor Witch comes out. Alright, let's Wandering Mind here. Gain 2 life. Come on, Wandering Mind. Alright, so take the Vanishing Verse, because that immediately answers the Onyx. They have a negate. Ooh, very good. Well, we can clear the board with a Clarion. But we still are in the... We still need to draw something. I'm just checking my hand. We send 1 Bring to Light. There's their 3rd Sedgemoor Witch. Niv off the top. Perfect. Reload. Those options aren't great, but I do think... Alright. They're probably gonna... Alright, there's a Fortseas. I'm gonna counter that. They do have enough to pay for the Is It Charm counter. Alright, gonna let that go. They're plussing. Lightning Helix and Sedgemoor Witch. Slow him down. There's another negate. There's a Bring to Light, perfect. So, Bring to Light off the top. We've got to go for another reload. 5 life gained. Alright, there we go. Molten Collapse can take out the card advantage from the Professor Onyx. And we have a veto to hold up for any kind of counter that could take out Niv Mizzet. Third Path Iconoclast doesn't do anything. There's the Opt. They draw. Sedgemoor Witch has Menace, so it can't deal with that, so let's just block. I think now, because of this race, we've got to hold up this veto in response to anything that tries to kill Niv Mizzet. So let's start with a Biotech here. It's another blocker, and it's 3 toughness, takes out pretty much anything. Maelstrom pulls the 3rd path before they get anything else out of it. Plumb the Forbidden, oh my god, I love that card. Alright, so, before they draw all these cards, let's take out the Sedgemoor Witch. We can still hold up a veto next turn. So they are drawing so many cards. The more this deck shows off, the more I like it. Put him down to 17 and hold up a veto. Forties. Oh, I'm going to have to let that go. They probably have another removal spell. This is me just checking. Yeah, that is the full Forties. Hunt for specimens. Gonna learn. Grab the necrotic flumes. They're going to... Alright, before that, I'm going to pop the biotech here. Do some damage. Get another land out of my deck. There's Toff. Toff coming in clutch again. So let's Toff get back the Bring to Light. Discard the Is It Charm. I'm going to go for it here. If they have the counter, they have the counter. But either way, Toff can just keep going. Oh, there's the last Niv Mizzet. So, Earthbend again. And... oh, yeah, I remember now. This was a sad moment. The opponent went a bit slow play on us. And it really sucked because I was like, this was such a cool deck. I remember in the moment I gave him a lot of premise because I was like, okay, maybe they have like a couple of removal options and they're trying to assess what's the best thing to remove here. But it turns out they're just playing so. But honestly, this deck was sick. This deck had, like I said, token creation creatures, cantrip spells, interaction, learn package. There was so much in this deck that just was literally like, yoo-hoo, play me, Ultra Call. You love these types of decks. And I do. I do love these type of decks. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of... was talking about this to a friend recently. I'm really sad that Pioneer has gone to a point now where genuinely I don't think enchantments that make creatures are playable, because I still love dropping those in early Pioneer. I would drop things like Outlaw's Merriment or the Assemble the Legion. And our opponent concedes. Good game. Next match here against Duke, 1986. And this deck is a cool holdover from Standard, but also a chilling warning to the future. So this deck the opponent is playing is the current Deceiver Doomsday Excruciator combo deck. For those you aren't aware, it basically exiles a deck and you mill them out with like the Reef they have there or a Jace or an effect like that. But genuinely, I'm sitting here watching this and thinking to myself, okay, this is a Dimir control list. So I'm going to start covering things to just get... Insatiable Avarice. At that point, I'm like, what are they doing? They must be going crazy. So I'm going to play this biotech, holding up a No More Lies. In response, they cut it down. I'm going to pop up the token here just to get 2 damage in while I can and ramp. They're missing lands, so I'm just going to play another biotech here. Keep baiting out as much removal as possible. There's an Anoint with Affliction. I'm going to let that go. Every resource they spend and don't use on this is fine with me, so I'm going to plus again playing the Night of Autumn. It's 4 power on the board, applying pressure. There's another Anoint with Affliction. Alright, so shocking in. Now I have enough mana to hold up a No More Lies while going for a Bring to Light reload. And I go for the Niv, of course. Reload. Part of this, though, I should have probably considered would have been to drop in the potentially the Supreme, because he'd be way more resilient to their targeted removal. However, there's no way a deck like this isn't running Sheoldred's Edict. There's an Oil Deep Gear Hulk, so we'll just exile that. We can Bring to Light again here, so Bring to Light. This time I think... oh, opponent concedes to that. So this is where I make my mistake. I'm instantly thinking to myself, okay, this is clearly a control deck, so let's just take out a lot of our slower interactive pieces. Tough can come out, Unmoored Ego comes out, and that's my huge mistake. So I was not aware that this was a Doomsday Excruciator deck until this game. And that cost me. So you'll see what I'm talking about here. So for those who aren't aware, Doomsday Excruciator is a demon that enters and exiles everyone's library apart from 6 cards. You then use something like the Reef or a Jace to mill the opponent out. It is very reminiscent of, no joke, the inverter combo Fast as Oracle thing from back in the dark days of Pioneer. And Jesus Christ, I do not want this to become meta. Now, I'm a inherent combo player. I love combo, and I think it's a fair archetype. However, there is one thing I will acknowledge here, is that holy crud, if we go down that road and have to go back to having that as the main deck of the format, it is a surefire way to kill like enjoyment in a format. I think the issue that Inverter had was it was the best thing at the time, and it probably still would be. But one of the biggest issues that I know it faced, obviously at the time, was it was a very stupidly heavy combo. Yes, here it is. We exile all but 6 cards. And they have 2 Reefs now to exile, and the Reefs are multicolored and the Reefs are 4/4s. So I can't deal with this, so I just have to bring to light here and pray there's something in my deck that can do something. And there's nothing. So it's just concede. But the issue is, when it's a blue-black based deck, is they have the Fort Seizures to deal with the best thing. They have the interaction to counter your spells. So that's where I think the issue's going to be here. Like, this is me just on-tilt sideboarding badly. So I look at this hand and think, there's the Unmoored Ego. So this game here is a perfect counterexample of why decks like this are fine, but if decks like this become the number one in the meta, they probably need to leave. This is a counterplay to combo decks, is having the Unmoored Ego, but of course they have the counter spell for it. And decks like this also run the Duresses to get rid of any other potential counters you might have to the deck. So this is very much what happened back in the day when you played Inverter. It was, I'll strip away your answer to the combo. I'll counter your counterplay to the combo, and then I will hit the combo. Yeah, see, now there's nothing I can do against this, and I'm just going to die. They basically are just going to deploy a Jace, and I'm not even going to let them see the Excruciator, because I'm just like, there is no reason to play on at this point. They mill and draw cards. We play a land. We play the Yorion. They mill free, draw a card. They are struggling to find the black here. There's a Shieldred's Edict. We just play another land. We're just going to draw 2, discard 2. They have a counter spell for it, and I'm just like, yeah, this is probably the end here. There's a K command. There's nothing really in my graveyard I want to get back. I sideboarded incorrectly in this matchup, so it's not unwinnable, however. But you'll see here as well, like, here's their third, 3 steps ahead, counter play, got all triple draw now. It's over. At that point, I just concede. Have an Inverter flashback, so don't let this deck become meta, please. Next game here versus the Master 2013. This hand's a bit slower. Opponent is mulliganing. I'm also expecting, call me crazy, but a blue avatar makes me think that they'll be either control or discard immediately. And yeah, so I want to stress this. I'm on ×2 gameplay here, and this was the longest match. Not because of any reason going on. This opponent was just one of the worst players I think I've seen in ages. And I don't mean that in a skill way. I don't mean that in a their ability to play the game. But holy crud. Like, you can't tell me. Watch this gameplay and tell me you don't think this guy is intentionally slow playing to just screw around. And before anyone says, oh, what if they're relatively new to, like, the format or Magic or whatever, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to exile that. They have a Black Lotus avatar, which is something which came out years ago. They have a specialized Cataxius. They have secret sleeves. I'm just like watching this being like, there's no way. What is this? So I'm like, okay, it's mono black control or mono black discard. And just watch this and tell me you're not seeing slow play here. I believe this one was recorded on the last day of ranked as well. And so we look at this. Both of us are nowhere near ranking up. Okay, there's a Mercy's Shadow. I'm going to just Cosmic Rebirth back my Knight, give it some counters. Vanishing Verse, the Shadow. I desperately need red here. So we'll hit in with the Knight here, just put pressure on. Got another land. Let's just grab the Yorion, swing in for another 4. Down to 12. Here comes the Thoughtseize. So, Yorion's taken out. That's the only spell I can cast. They are also struggling for lands. So I'm watching this and thinking to myself, what's the best option here? Oh yeah, I remember now. I literally had to answer a phone call here. So literally I was like, just quickly turned down a phone. Busy, got to call you back. Then played the Knight attacking to 6. Tiny Bones comes out. Gonna play the Maelstrom Pulse, get rid of it. Swing in with the Knight of Autumn. Pass back. They're on 2. They have a Fatal Push. They can't trigger it, and it's done. And we end up with 4 red cards in hand. So I'm just like, okay, what was that? So that match took 5 minutes. Like, genuinely 100% gonna sound bad to say it. I was thinking to myself, is this some kind of bot when it first was playing? But then I saw it intentionally stalling out, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't a bot. Bots at least play fast. So, bear in mind, this is now 3 minutes into this game, which means we are 6 minutes into the regular speed recording. And just watch this. Like, I do not understand the intentional slow play here. I'm mulliganing. Okay, 5 lands, all reds. Get rid of Valky. We're going to get Thoughtseize, so it won't matter here. Play it back. They take a land from us, we'll just play a land. So they take a non-land from us, we'll just play land. So it turns out they're Rakdos, and they were missing options here. I'm going to get rid of the Stomping Ground. We've got enough red this game. We actually need blue. There's Tiny Bones. I think the best option here is play a land tapped, pass back. We're going to wait until they come into combat, and then we're going to Helix it. They go to attack. We will Helix the Tiny Bones, kill it and go back to 20. Play a land, play the Biotech. We can hold up now a way to get another white to separate white and blue from our things of our lander tokens. Opponent is still struggling for lands here, so I don't know if they were playing a low land deck or something, but yeah, there's a Fatal Push. Congratulations, that took you so long to figure out if you were going to Fatal Push it. I was talking to a friend because I was waiting to go and play a different game with some friends, and I was talking about this. I was like, I just need to finish this match, and I was describing what was going on, and one of my friends was like, this just sounds like they're playing second monitor. And I was like, yeah, that would make sense, I suppose, if it's on the second monitor and they're doing something on the main one. Because look, what is this? Why are we stopping? What do you have? You don't have a counter spell. You clearly have some kind of burn spell. Now you have a kill spell. That's fine. Going to discard the Helix to draw a Helix, because, of course. Alright, pass the turn. We're going to wait because we can't K command. You know what, second phase, I'm so tempted just to do it because I'm tired of my opponent stalling on everything. They had a Gifted Aetherborn, so I'm like, okay, well, that's dead. And then I'm going to make you discard and get back Joshua. I was literally on chat talking about this. There's an Anger of the Gods gone, so we'll play Joshua again. I'm going to discard both of these because I just need a big finisher here. I'm going to grab Yorion, pass it back. I want something to just end this. And yeah, dead air. Like, I get it if you're tilted because you haven't drawn lands. We've all been there. We've had like the game where we're literally like pulling up our deck list and going, are you kidding me, a shuffler? We have like 100 and you can't do one of these? Alright, there's Croxer. I'm going to discard Yorion to keep the verdict. I'm going to flip Joshua here because Joshua at least gains me life. And then I'm going to hold the Godless Shrine for the attack trigger. See what they go for the attack. I've missed flipping Joshua. It's a bit slow, but it is very fun. There's a Shieldred's Edict. Get rid of the land, pass it back. There's a Supreme. They've got to hope they don't have another Edict. There's a Phyrexian Arena trying to draw something. We'll discard the spell. Oh, that's perfect. So, go to attack. Put him down to 13. Tyrant Scorn can actually kill Croxer because Croxer is technically a 2-mana creature. The only thing we got to worry about here is the Shieldred's Edict. Or any kind of Edict effect. Because nothing... Alright, that's another scary one there. So, let's kill Croxer with the Tyrant Scorn. Now they're tapped out. Pass back and draw. We'll lose 2 life here. Play a Supreme. Reload. Get a full spread of cards. Attack. Put them down to 7. They are dead next turn if they don't draw removal for Niv here. There's a Destroy All Creatures effect. That's fine. Play the Ancient Cornucopia. Mushroom Pulse. Take out the Rise of Sozin so they can't get that back. Pass it back. They play a Preacher of the Schism. Pass back. Alright, so full Bring to Light here. However, I think our best bet, no joke, is going to just be to grab Tybalt and take this down. I'm going to exile the Preacher because that's card advantage and presence. And then I'm going to just deploy the Biotech because we can't actually cast the No More Lies. Yep, there's a go for the throat. Clearly they're trying to fill their graveyard here to cast the Croxer. They're desperately trying to cut me off colors here. I'm going to just grab the white because... This is one thing I always say, unless you need that specifically, I'm going to keep the Bring to Light here, because Kuravo can't copy anything from the graveyard when it's been exiled. We'll just get the Bring to Light here. It's always one of the things I don't understand, like, I clearly showed that I have all the basics. So I always wonder why people go for this. Let's plus the Tybalts. We'll Thoughtseize you. Let you know how it feels. You just got to land. Let's play the Biotech again. We now have lethal in so many ways here. There's a land. There's a Dreams of Oil. Nothing to take. They're going to get Croxer back. I'm telling them good game because I'm tired of how slow they were playing. And then I'm going to go to exile their Croxer. And then I'm going to cast their Croxer. And, you know, kill them with their own creature. Just because they speed me off how slow they were playing. Let's go here. We now have our final game of the day. You'll see me clicking there for concede because I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to call it here. Because this felt like a rank up match for the opponent. And it was the last day of potential rank ups. I believe this was for April. No, for March, sorry. I don't even know what month it is right now. But yeah, we get hit and overrun. We're going to play the Ancient Cornucopia because if we can survive long enough here, maybe we'll get lucky. Triple Storm Chaser's Talent. This is the insane start from Prowess. Play land. We're going to play the Wandering Mind to gain 2 life here. That will get us a Lightning Helix or Bring to Light. I think we got to take a Bring to Light here and play a Biotech. My logic here is Supreme Verdict clears everything. And if we just have to chump block to try to stay alive, that might be our best option here. There's a VV. And there's a Reckless Rage. I've said this before, but Reckless Rage to me is a very clear indicator that there's a problem with the format. If the fact that your aggro decks run fight spells over actual burn spells because of the interactions they can run. Alright, so we've got to Bring to Light here. We've got to gain 2 life and grab the Supreme Verdict. Okay, do that, kill everything, play a land, and pass back. We have a way to dig, a way to buy back with the Cosmic Rebirth here. The consistency of 1-drops here is just insane. I think we might be at a point where maybe one of these 1-drops might have to go. We're just going to grab the Bring to Light here, pass it back. We're going to hold up this Cosmic Rebirth because if they try to do anything crazy, we can at least... yeah, there's an Academic Dispute. Someone did say one of the things we could include would be the Chalices of the Void, and I'm just like, nah. Chalice is more of a problem than it's not. I said before, one thing I think would be a interesting inclusion. Right, end step, let's use Cosmic Rebirth. Get back this Wandering Mind. That will give us 5 life. We can then dig. And its opponent concedes to that. Okay. They didn't run us over in 3 turns. Yeah, I don't think a Chalice of the Void effect would be great. But I do think potentially maybe... what was it? What did someone say? A creature with an ability to tax 1-drops, like maybe Thalia needs to actually be on like an artifact or a ley line. And I was like, heck no, that would just disrupt too much. Deafening Silence and pushes come in. I'm unsure of how to run it here. Like, so I'm playing obviously built around the idea of Prowess. However, the problem is if they just have 4 Prowess creatures and get a +4 each time because they can do 1 spell. Alright, we're down to 5 and we won't win on a 4, so we've got to take this. Right, 2 lands gone. We got to pray for a good draw here. Alright, they get an immediate Soulscar Mage. Tap land. Storm Chaser's Talent. Yep, hits us for 2. Got to hold up a veto here if they try to do any kind of value engine. That's card advantage, so I'm immediately going to counter that. Right, don't seem to have their 3rd land. We are down to 12 though. Shock in. While they have 1, let's try and take out the Soulscar Mage. Go back up to 13. I'm holding off on the Xander's Lounge because it would probably be better if we could just, you know, Cosmic Rebirth it. Maelstrom Pulse, let's try and take out the last Otter here. Right, they have nothing to attack with. Play the land tapped. We've got a Wandering Mind. Let's see if we can find something. Bring to Light. Very good. They're checking our lands, discovering that we have enough to do it. I'm going to just have to run this out. I'm 90% sure they have counter magic here, but I have a Yorion Blink potential play if I can't. Yeah, there's Spell Pierce. Swing in. So one thing I think they did here, oh, there's the cutter. There's a Boomerang Basics. We take 2 down to 10. Grab Yorion, play a land tapped. We're going to hold back here because we can block. And Cosmic Rebirth. There's a 2nd cutter. Reckless Rage. Like I said before, what the heck game when your entire format is warped around playing fight spells instead of actual burn spells in your aggro deck. Cornucopia, I guess, could keep us alive. I'm going to have to block here and kill one of the tokens, go down to 7. Play the Cornucopia. Play the Cosmic Rebirth. Play the Yorion to just gain life, go back up to 9. But we still fall to like a Boomerang Basics or something here. Soulscar Mage, that's worse because that shrinks it. There's a Divide by 0. Yeah, we're just dead here. Prowess is definitely the deck to beat. Yeah, at this point I'm like, yeah, okay, we have to run forward these. Honestly though, Prowess is built around such an efficient shell that I do feel the only thing we could do is maybe take out... And my hate of Bloomburrow continues. Maybe we take out the Storm Chaser's talent. The inevitability of that being like, yeah, it's a hasty, it's a creature that can do damage, then it's a buyback, it's part of a loop. I'm just like, maybe we just do need to take that out. Alright, so we're getting hit here, so let's immediately Vanishing Verse the cutter before it gets anything going, pass back. We'll need this Cornucopia. We need red mana like yesterday. There's a Storm Chasers. Yeah, that would be the card I would take out of this deck. We got red, so let's play the Ancient Cornucopia. Lightning Helix, the Soulscar Mage, gaining 5 life back up to 18. Shock in. They brought in a Braid to literally just kill this because life gain is their nemesis. But we drew another one, so in response I am going to Lightning Helix this to see if they have a Spell Pierce. They have a Fiery Impulse, which is hilarious because it doesn't pump it enough. Like, it doesn't do 2 damage because your own Prowess trigger. I'm convinced here they have counter magic, so I'm going to just play around it with the Biotech. The importance of this is going to be that 2 spells have to resolve. There's a Fiery Impulse. Going to pop the Lander token in response. Get me a blue. So I have all 5 colors now. There's a 6 land. So I'm going to play for the Ancient Cornucopia here. They don't have response. So they go for a Divide by 0. This is where the fun part comes. So check this. I'm going to let them bounce this. In response they'll learn, but we're still in the end step here. And I have the corn. So I'm going to force them to discard and kill the Otter. So they literally can't cast their lesson plan. Now they have to just draw it back with this. They just take the Abrade and play a Soulscar Mage. Well, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to bring to light here, and I'm against the Izzet deck, so it's Grab Supreme. And nothing in your deck kills this. What do? You concede. Yep, good game, sir.